Hi, Dr. Dave here to demonstrate the 10 most useful systems for aiming bank and kick shots. Some are diamond systems that use the diamonds on the rails as references. Others are completely visual and require no diamonds or numbers. All of them are useful to know in different situations, especially if you do not yet have perfect intuition judging bank and kick shots. Before we start, be aware that kick and bank shots do not respond the exact same way on every table, so some aiming adjustments will often be required, especially on diamond brand tables. First, let's look at kick shots, where you rebound the cue ball off a cushion to an object ball target. One of the most basic and useful kick shot systems is the contact point mirror system. It applies only when the object ball is about a ball off the cushion, although it can also be used with adjustments when the object ball is a little closer or farther from the rail. Here's how it works. You first measure the distance from the required contact point on the object ball to the nose of the cushion. Then you mirror this distance to the other side. Then you visualize a line from this point to the center of the cue ball to get the required line of aim. It can help to pick out something on or near this line to give you a clear target. I just need to aim about an inch outside of the diamond, or I can look for a chalk or a skid mark on the cloth. Then you just need to roll the cue ball with slow to medium speed. With speed too slow, the object ball will go long of the pocket center and could miss. And with speed too fast, the object ball will come up short. Again, to hit the heart of the pocket, you need to roll the cue ball with slow to medium speed. The mirrored aim point is the same regardless of cue ball location. Like all systems, it doesn't matter if you are kicking off a short rail or a long rail. The system still works the same way. Again, measure the distance from the contact point to the cushion, mirror that to the other side, and visualize the line to the cue ball to find an aim point on the rail or cloth. When the object ball is closer than a ball width from the cushion, you need to adjust the aim point closer to the object ball. And when the object ball is farther than a ball width, you need to adjust the aim point farther from the object ball. Here's a simple visual way to aim two rail kick shots in and out of a corner. You first find the midpoint between the cue ball and object ball. It helps to look perpendicular to the line through the balls when doing this. Then use your cue to visualize a line from the midpoint to the kicking corner. Then shift this line parallel to the cue ball, being careful to not pivot the cue during your shift. Then move your aim point 1 to 2 inches closer to the pocket, since the cue ball generally tends to go a little long of the target. Then roll the cue ball with running spin. This system works best when the midpoint line is centered between the rails. If the line is closer to either rail, you need to use less spin. Here, the line is a little closer to the end rail, so I use a little less spin. And here, the line is much closer to the side rail, so I use almost no spin. Notice how I visualize the midpoint by first looking perpendicular to the line through the balls. Then I check along the line of the balls and move the tip as necessary to get it centered properly. The most basic diamond system is the 2-to-1 system. A rolling ball rebounds close to the same angle that it enters a cushion. So the distance from the target along the near rail is always twice the distance along the far rail. Here, since the cue ball is coming from the second diamond and is aimed at the first diamond, it heads to the corner. This works for any of the 2-to-1 tracks shown here. For example, here's the 2-to-1 track. And here's the 4-to-2 track. If the cue ball is not on one of the standard tracks, there are two approaches to aim the shot. You could just estimate between the tracks. Here, the cue ball is between the 3 to 1.5 and the 4 to 2 tracks, so I just aim in between. To be more accurate, you can also do a 2-to-1 shift relative to the closest track, where you move the back of the cue along the rail twice as much as you move the tip. Regardless, you can always check the numbers before shooting. Here, I am aiming from about 2.8 to about 1.4, so the line looks good. This system breaks down at about 6 to 3 and above. At these larger angles, the cue ball will go long of the target, so you need to adjust the aim farther up table to be accurate. This system also works for non-pocket targets, where everything is measured relative to the rail target. For example, here I want to get a hit on the 11. Again, I just need to find a 2-to-1 track with the target 11 as the 0 point. Here, the cue ball is right along the 2-to-1 track, so I should get the hit. The system also works when kicking off a short rail. Here's a 3 to 1.5 kick for the win. The 2-to-1 system, where we measure everything relative to the line of diamonds, assumes the cue ball is rolling at relatively slow speed. The more you increase the speed, the more the cue ball will come up short of the target. An easy way to compensate for this is to measure along different reference lines. Again, for slow speed, we measure along the line of diamonds. For fast speed shots, a better reference is the rail groove, where the base of the ball sits on the cloth when it is up against the cushion. Here, I am shooting along the rail groove 4 to 2 line with fast speed. For medium speed shots, the middle of the cushion is a better reference. A good way to visualize this reference is to place the tip under the cushion. Here, I am again shooting along the cushion center 4 to 2 line. This speed correction technique will be used for many of the remaining aiming systems. Again, for slow speed, use the line of diamonds. For medium speed, use the center of the cushion, which you can visualize with the tip under the cushion. And for fast speed, use the rail groove. A simple way to aim kick shots without using diamonds or numbers is the visual equal distance system. This system does not require the object ball to be close to a pocket or a rail. Both the cue ball and object ball can be anywhere on the table. You just need to place the cue over the cue ball with the tip along the kick reference line at the point where the distances between the object ball and projected cue ball position are equal. Here, I plan to use slow speed, so my reference is the line of diamonds. If the distances are not equal, just move the tip position until they are. I like to use my finger to mark where the tip is relative to the balls. If you look up and down across the table from the tip to the near rail, you can place the finger more accurately. After some practice, you will be able to do this very quickly without thinking. The best thing about this system is it is entirely visual, requiring no diamond counting or numbering or 2-to-1 calculations. It also does not matter if you are kicking off the short rail or long rail first. Because I plan to use medium speed, I have the tip position under the cushion. Sometimes you get lucky and pocket a long kick like this for the win. You can also measure relative to the object ball instead of the cue ball. This approach is better when the cue ball is closer to the kicking rail, especially when the angle is large. Here, I am trying to pocket the 13 and get the breakout, so I need relatively fast speed. I am aiming with the tip under the cushion instead of in the rail groove because with the object ball so far from the cushion, the rail groove is appropriate only for very fast speeds. That didn't work out perfectly, but I'm still shooting and I have safety options. An alternative to doing the equal distance tip placement is to mirror distances instead. You measure the distance from the target to the reference line and then mirror this to the other side. Then you look back at the cue ball to see the required line of aim. Here, I am keeping focus on the aim point, using the cue for help to have a clear aiming target. This is the simplest system because it doesn't need diamond numbering and it doesn't require tip placement corrections like the previous system. You just do the visual measurements and you get the right line of aim. All the angle, speed, and distance adjustments discussed previously apply here also. Here, I am using the rail groove reference since the object ball is close to the cushion and the cue ball will not have enough space to curve forward after rebound with the medium speed I plan to use. All the systems we just reviewed for kick shots also apply to bank shots as long as the object ball is rolling when it reaches the banking cushion. Here, I am aiming along the 4 to 2 line, so this should go with slow speed. And here, the mirror aim also works fine, assuming I do not hit the ball too hard. Speed is a big factor with bank shots. Here, medium speed causes the object ball to hit the cushion with a medium amount of forward roll to create the necessary rebound angle. With less speed, the object ball develops full topspin roll and rebounds long of the target. And with fast speed, the object ball slides into the cushion with stun and rebounds short of the target. It can be difficult to predict rebound direction when the object ball has a partial amount of roll. That's why good bankers often use either slow speed, where the 2 to 1 in mirror systems are very reliable, or fast speed, where the rebound angle is also consistent and predictable. With fast speed banks, or when the object ball is close to the banking cushion, a very useful aiming system is the 1/3 more than twice system. With this system, the reference lines are measured relative to the rail grooves. Because a ball banked with speed normally comes up short, this system adds 1/3 of a diamond to the near rail reference. This 1/3 adjustment is the same for all bank angles within a fairly large range. Here, the line is from 1/3 more than 2 to 1. I've included extra balls on the table so you can clearly see the alignment and the 1/3 of a diamond adjustment. On this table, the bank goes a little long due to the softness of the cushions. I can correct by changing the line of aim slightly. I can also correct by adding a little left spin to transfer a touch of right spin to the object ball, causing it to bank a little shorter. Here, the line is from 1/3 more than 4 to 2. Again, the bank goes a little long on this table. But I can again correct with a slight aim adjustment or with transferred spin. One way to apply the system is to just remember the standard reference tracks, find which one the object ball is closest to, and then make a 2 to 1 adjustment or just estimate between the tracks like before. Here, the object ball is closest to the 1/3 more than 3 to 1.5 track, so I just make a 2 to 1 adjustment and add a small correction for this table. Another way to apply the system, if you like numbers, is to first estimate the number where the object ball will hit the cushion. This is easy to do if the object ball is close to the cushion. Here, the number is 1.7. Then double this to 3.4 and add 1/3 or about 0.3, giving 3.7. Remember, the system works only if the object ball is sliding into the cushion with stun. If the object ball is farther from the cushion, you need to use faster speed to ensure object ball stun. But if the object ball is close to the cushion, almost any speed will work, even slow speed. Now let's look at two classic kickshot diamond systems that have been around for a really long time. I saved them for last because they are a bit more complicated. The first is the plus system, which is used for aiming 2 and 3 rail kicks off a short rail. First, you need to know how the diamonds are numbered. With this system, the end rail diamonds are numbered 3, 5, and 7. 1 is at the corner, and 2, 4, and 6 are in between the diamonds. Whatever diamond number you target on the first rail is how many diamonds the cue ball moves up on the third rail if using a rolling ball with running spin. Here, I am shooting at the 5 point on the end rail, so the cue ball will head 5 diamonds farther up table to pocket the 8 in the corner. An easy way to apply this system is to work backwards from the target. For example, here I want to pocket the 8. I need the cue ball to come into this line. I start counting diamond distances back from this position until my count matches the aim point through the cue ball. From 3 diamonds, aiming at the 3 on the short rail, I am still short of the cue ball. From 4 diamonds, aiming at the 4 on the short rail, I am right over the cue ball, so I now have the required line of aim. If you don't end up right over the cue ball, just estimate in between or do a 2-to-1 shift as before. I didn't make the ball, but that was a good effort. If you want to see how the plus system can be applied to 3-rail kicks or 4-rail kicks off a long rail first instead, and how to make various adjustments when necessary, see the resource page linked in the video description. The corner 5 system is for aiming kick shots off 2 or more cushions starting with a long cushion, again using a rolling cue ball with running spin. It is one of the most complicated of the diamond systems. The diamonds on the long cushions are numbered just like normal relative to the far short rail. However, there is a third set of numbers required to indicate where the cue ball is coming from. This numbering starts with 5 at the corner. That's why it's called the corner 5 system. The diamond numbers relative to this increase by 1 onto the short rail and decrease by 1/2 onto the long rail. The system is based on a formula that calculates the third rail diamond number T from the first rail number F and the cue ball number C. The third rail number is always the cue ball number minus the first rail number. Here, shooting from 5, aiming at 3, sends the cue ball through 2, which is 5 minus 3. This is useful for hitting a target close to the third rail. Here, I want to come into the third rail at 3. I can hit that from shooting from 5 to 2, since 5 minus 2 equals 3. Another useful application of the corner 5 system is targeting a ball close to the 4th rail corner. First, it helps to know which third rail diamond sends the cue ball to the corner from 5. On this table, going through about 2 1/4, from 5 aiming at 2 3/4, heads to the corner. If I want to target a ball a half diamond from the corner like this, I just need to adjust my aim by a half diamond relative to the reference. And if the cue ball is coming from 4 1/2 instead of 5, I just need to shift my aim down a half diamond to still go to the corner. If you want to see examples of how to apply this system in various interesting situations for 2, 3, and 4-rail kicks, and how to make adjustments when necessary, and how to use a visual spot-on-the-wall system alternative, see the links in the video description. If you want detailed information and more examples for any of the systems in this video, see the links in the video description. Remember, it is important to be aware that kick and bank shots do not respond exactly the same way on every table, so some calibration and aiming adjustments will often be required. Diamond brand tables are particularly different. Kicks and banks on Diamond brand tables come up much shorter than most other brands, especially the older red label diamonds, and any non-9-foot diamond table. See the link in the video description explaining why the diamond tables kick and bank short and how to make adjustments. To be effective aiming kick and bank shots, it is also important to know how to make adjustments to compensate for cut angle, spin, speed, distance, and conditions. These and other effects will be covered in my next video, so stay tuned by subscribing to my channel. Good luck with your game from Dr. Dave.